Welcome.
And we even
We
played
are
the
here.
theme song, and we didn't screw it up.
I didn't talk beforehand. I know it says we're going to be talking about synchronicity. I didn't sort of
But it
broach
just
this
kept happening over and over and over again. So
over
we
again.
didn't.
Anyway, I didn't talk to Mark about that beforehand, so he didn't have a chance to bone up on the topic. However,
So we're just going to talk about sci-fi.
Yeah. So
in general.
I am going to talk about a couple of weird coincidences I had happen. If anybody who wants to interpret this, I'd be happy to hear about it. I had a weird thing where I was listening to a friend's program that she has, and they walked into a room and saw this big metal thing and said, "What is that?" And they said, "Oh, that's an old cistern." And I'm like, so I'm trying to think of what a cistern is. And then on the screen, they talked about what it was. So maybe 2 hours later, I'm watching something else totally unrelated. And the guy walks into a room and says, "Oh, look at that, an old cistern." I don't think I've ever heard that word said on TV before. The other thing that happened was, I had I was walking around, I've been doing stuff for eBay and Etsy and all of that. And I was working with some of the Belle dolls I had that I bought in a group. And I was singing Tale as Old as Time, the Beauty and the Beast thing. And I was joking around with Larry about it and all of that. So I turned on another person's web show on YouTube. And what did she start out with? Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is a niche that has a tale as old as time. And I'm like, all right, did somebody leave on what was the name of the device in the
Flux capacitor?
No, the improbability machine.
Oh, the improbability drive.
Oh, okay, there we go.
That was on Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah.
The faster you went, the more improbable things would occur.
Well, there definitely must be a universal one, because those two coincidences are just uncanny as hell. So anyway, that was my synchronicity of yesterday. I apologize for my attire. I'm going to the doctor tomorrow about my back and my hip. And so I'm just taking it easy, really. We lost our second viewer. I must say, we're getting most of our views over on Twitter. So hello to all our Twitter audience. And I hope you come over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. There are 3 fan flaks. One fan flak, another one, and then there's Flak Fan, who is some jerk who was trying to take our audience. But the main one is the one with my picture. So
that means we're going to lose Elton John and Whoopi Goldberg and Jim Carrey as followers of the show.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't see they all quit Twitter.
Gee, I'll weep.
Well, I'm here at Fan Flak corporate headquarters, as you can see behind
Exactly,
me.
our world headquarters.
In Chicago.
Yes. My mother-in-law's spirit is the CEO. She's from Chicago. She was from Chicago. Anyway, so now we're going to
I used to
discuss
like
science
Chicago.
fiction. What's that?
I used to like Chicago before Beetlejuice became mayor.
Oh, well. It's, they're politicians. They can't help themselves. So the science fiction and related topics today. Um,
You start off with something. I have to go grab something real quick. I'll be
okay.
right back.
All right. The happy news is that the Orville is probably coming back. Disney has been said to be in the process of greenlighting a fourth season. And I think that's amazing because they were really getting into it in their third season. And, with the money behind it and the work involved, I think we're going to see a great season ahead. Let's see what else. We had the news that the Blake 7 return or whatever is probably not going to happen again, but it'll be back again, I'm sure. And there's another Dark Shadows thing going to happen. Catherine Lee Scott has been updating all of us about it. I'm sure it's going to be the same kind of dribble that we've had before now. I wish they'd do something fresh with it, but they won't. And
I'm sure you're right.
he's saying
Sorry,
that because he didn't hear what I said.
I had to step out of my office to talk to my secretary. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. How's Georgia doing?
Just fine.
Okay.
No, what were you
Anyway,
discussing that
I
I
was
wouldn't like?
saying that there is a new Dark Shadows being planned,
Oh,
and why in
as
the
long as it
world?
doesn't star Johnny Depp, I think that would be
Yeah,
good.
yeah. As long as it's not anything to do with Johnny Depp, we'll be fine. Or what's his name? Tim Burton. I love Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter or whatever. I just adore that movie. But yeah,
Who owns his dad? Curtis still own the rights to Dark
yeah.
Shadows, or does ABC, or who owns them?
It's MGM and Curtis. Yeah. There had been all these rumors that Johnny Depp had bought the rights. He did not buy the rights. He bought the rights to produce a movie series, but he didn't um
You know,
buy the
you were talking about Tim Burton. How about getting a hold of Guillermo del Toro and doing a stop action
I
Dark
think Guillermo
Shadows?
del Toro would be wonderful. I think
What
that's a
they
great idea.
I think a stop action Dark Shadows would be cool.
Why not? You could have all the same characters. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Try
the
to bring people in that did the voices, the people that are no longer with us. You can find somebody to imitate them.
well, we've got AI now.
I'm
I
not
mean,
as I'm not as thrilled as everybody is with this AI stuff.
I'm not terribly thrilled with it, but it has some uses, and that's one of them. It can duplicate voices.
Yes, and it can create Skynet.
Yeah. Well, it can do all kinds of things, but the good news is that they have put limitations on it. So the it can't get beyond those limitations without the inventors going to prison.
Well, AI has been deciding who did and did not get loans at Bank of America for a long time.
Yeah, it's not doing it anymore though.
No,
Nope. it got in major trouble over that. The Bank of America did. So this is all kinds of crap that was going on in the days when pre pandemic, that allowed a lot of people to look at a lot of stuff. And they found out a lot of crap going on. So they hopefully next we'll be seeing the all of the people who have mob ties dragged out of government. So Biden probably is not going to have another term in office. So
God, let's hope not.
well, they're all gonna get dragged away. So anyway, the science fiction.
Uh, I, I tell you what, they want to use this conference room for a meeting, so I'm going to change over to one of the other offices. I'll be right back.
Okay. Anyway, and don't worry, try. Nobody in office recently is ever going to go back in again. Anyway, the all the science fiction landscape is looking very healthy. As you may have noticed, there's a lot of attention
Okay,
being
I'm back.
paid. Hello. Oh yes, you're in the unknown city now.
Just
And
over on the other side of the building.
yeah,
On
it's
the
a
water
huge
side.
complex. It is.
It's Chicago. We're on the Great Lakes.
LSD. Anyway,
So it'll be quiet here. They're yelling and screaming over there. Some of
yeah,
the producers and directors of one of our Flak projects are having a meeting. So
the live streaming Zoom meetings are madness. Anyway, we got people over there pitching. I mean, Quentin Tarantino is a loudmouth. So
well, I don't know if I'm going to let Quentin back in anymore after ever since he lost out on doing Star Trek. He's gotten real pissy. So.
Oh, I know. It's sad, but anyway, have you heard any more cancellations or renewals for any of the other science fiction shows?
Well, just to give you a little inside information.
Yeah.
My friend Steve Ross, who is in the process of doing a Kickstarter for his movie that he's doing called Carnival. That
right.
if you look back, you can find the interview we did with Steve.
Yep, it's in the archive.
It's in the archives, so you can look it up. And we've been trying to get Steve to come on, but he's been real busy with the pre-production meetings and so forth. He's got a cinematographer on board, and they're going to be well, I don't want to give any more details quite yet, but he has gotten a cinematographer on board. He's got several actors that are fairly well known. If you get on the website, you can look at the actors. He's got those listed, but I don't want to take away from traffic to his website. So if you want to check it out, check out the Steve Ross and Carnival Freak Show. And it's not the video game. So if you get sent to the video game website, that's not it. So type in Steve Ross and the Carnival Freak Show, and you should get his website.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't want to step on his toes.
No, of course not.
Now, just to show you that I don't just sit here in the office, I flew cross country yesterday.
True.
To go to Knott's Berry Farm.
And he's hanging out with
a couple of fans of the show.
Yeah. They're rather
well, they're kind of stuck there, so they're stuck there, so they watch the show over and over and over. So,
Probably got pods. What are they called? Those things that go in your ears?
oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
built in.
What's so amazing is they have repainted those things
Oh, I don't even
a
want to imagine.
billion times.
Now they moved them a
Hmm.
couple of times.
Yep.
They used to, well, they've removed big sections of the park and replaced it with Daredevil rides and things. So,
You can't even find the old barn that used to be the Tanner's. Not our family. It was another family named Tanner. The bookstore in Knott's. So,
no, it's still there, but it's. I think it says Old McDonald's Farm on it. And they've got some
okay.
kind of display in there. Yeah, the bookstore is gone. That's for sure. Now they have a couple of toy stores
Hmm.
there, but nothing like the original toy store.
Yeah. Well, we got Kenny's birthday gift from there. By the way, to everybody who's asked, the twins are doing great. They're healthy and happy and crawling and standing up, and they're trying to walk. And
I'll
next week,
tell you, I feel sorry for Kenny because when they get a little older, they're going to terrorize that poor kid.
yeah, he's already had that experience. They love their big brother.
Mommy, they are playing with my toys.
But they turn 1 year old next week. It's almost impossible to believe. But this has been a wild year, I'll tell you. But they're Kenny's doing great. Kenny's formally adopted now, so you guys will be
Oh, that's right. We weren't even saying his name
yeah.
before.
He's Kenny Clark now. So he he's got I think they're gonna do still some final paperwork, but it's all it's
We didn't
done.
hear that name. We didn't say that name. You didn't hear
What did I say?
it. Kenny.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because you said the paper wasn't finalized. I said,
Oh
so
well,
you
no,
didn't hear that name.
you go through this long process.
You.
It's just insane. When you think of how many children are in need of families, and it takes 2 years to go through all of that. And so the babies were just now starting into the adoption process with them. So the I got 3 grandkids under 5 years of age. So my my son is very tired, and we won't even talk about my daughter-in-law. She's so she is so exhausted. Anyway, enough of grandchildren talk. And my oldest grandson, Jacob and Zach, they're uh, they're off running around New Orleans right now. But anyway, getting back to science fiction, we of course had the first science fiction film to ever win Best Picture, actually get the Best Picture, and it's some major critic, supposed major critic on TikTok, was going on about how that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, it had butt plugs in it. It's like, sir, that's your problem. There's 8 billion movies that have awful actors and scripts. Pay attention to those. But the I'm just still as happy as can be that it won Best Picture. It really deserved it, and that was made by people with iPads, and they worked very hard on it. So
Well,
anyway,
the only thing I have to say is they have just made Disney's movies much more expensive by giving Michelle Yeoh the Academy Award,
Well,
because now she will be extremely expensive.
well, that is probably true. But
Well, she was in that Marvel TV series. What was it called?
um,
The Avengers. Had that bald-headed guy that was like the head of the group.
oh, I don't know.
I can't think of the name of the series. It was on for about 5 or 6 years. I think it's off now. Now, wasn't she in Book of Boba Fett too?
Yes, yeah, I
Played
remember.
Boba Fett's partner in the Book of Boba Fett.
She's done tons of stuff. I mean, she's just been all over the place. She was in something we watched the other day. It was series that apparently everybody was very unhappy with the ending because the AI robot who was actually a an android uh, went crazy and um,
No,
sort of.
but there's no such thing as an android.
I
Not
know
not
it was in
Red,
fiction.
but I thought you were saying it was really an android.
No. It was a
Okay.
movie, a series.
Oh, okay. I thought you were claiming that they had a real android in this movie,
No,
and I was going to say
no,
there's
no,
no
no,
such thing as an android.
no.
Not
Thank
yet.
God. The no. I mean, after seeing Megan, you'd think everybody would be aware of it. Android problem. If you have not seen Megan, by the way, it's not a mental giant of a film, but it is a very good horror movie. Or not
If
very
you're
good,
wondering
good.
about if you're wondering about how dangerous androids are, look up the Borg.
Yeah, yeah. Androids are. It's not a good idea. Um, the in fact, every single android related novel I've ever read has been nothing but there's never been one where the androids were the good people. So
Even Star Trek,
yeah,
they banned artificial life forms for like a long time on there because of what happened at the Planitia uh, yard on Mars.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Now,
the
I realize that nothing really happened there because there really is no
no,
Planitia boat yards on Mars.
exactly.
I
Star
realize
Trek
this is
is a
all
TV show.
science fiction. I am not one of those people who thinks that Star Trek is real.
Yeah,
Okay. It's a TV show.
it is a TV show. All these things are TV shows. However, UFOs are real.
I believe
Uh,
so.
yeah. Well, the
But I don't
apparently,
believe that anybody is like friends with them and having them over to dinner,
oh, well, of
or
course not. No,
I don't believe any of those things are happening. But
no.
I believe they exist.
I
That's as
believe
far as I'll go.
I am now open to the idea of visitation and that kind of thing. The government has come out and said there has been impregnation. Um,
Now, wait a minute. Where did you read that?
they
I
did.
have I
I
haven't
will
seen
send
that.
it to you. I'll
Please
send
do.
it to you.
I want to check up on that. I'm not saying
And
it's impossible. I'm just saying I haven't heard about that.
they put out a statement that I believe it was the health department. It was somebody fairly well
Be
seated. I don't want
careful.
to be too specific about it because I'm not sure, but
Be
There
careful
was
having sex with those aliens because they got diseases.
no, they're not. They're not having sex with them. They're impregnating them. Let
Well,
me
wait a
do
second.
a quick
There's
search.
got to be some kind of sex involved here if they're impregnating them.
Well, they're the same way as they um, inseminate
Cattle.
human females or cows. Or let's see, statement. Everybody talk amongst yourselves.
Absolutely. So, if any of you have seen that thing about impregnating people and the government admitting to it, I would like to see the articles.
Okay, Pentagon releases. Okay.
See, the problem is that there's a lot of these websites that post these things and they claim the government did this and the government did that.
And it's bullshit. Yes, I know.
But when I look it up and try to find some proof to that effect, I can't find anything.
Yeah. Well, it's nothing that I would state unless my friends know. I kick the tires on all this stuff.
That's good. I mean, I'm completely open to any idea you want to talk about, but I'm not going to just sit there and believe you.
Okay.
Just because you say something, I am not going to believe you.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to. I've known you for a few years.
But I'm not going to just because it seems kind of, pardon me for a second, I'm sweeping something up here. It dropped. But yeah, but I'm not going to call you a liar because it's an odd idea you
Okay,
have,
here's
because you could be
I don't
right.
have the government declaration, but I have something on NBC News. And
We're talking MSNBC?
no, NBC,
Okay. So the TV network, not the internet.
not the internet.
Because I wouldn't believe it if MSNBC said the sun was going to come up tomorrow.
You'd be out looking. Let's see. Yeah, this isn't very. It's a university instructor that has said this.
Okay. We'll look into that. And
No, there was a statement. There was.
yeah. Well, I believe you. We'll look into it, get some more information about that.
Right.
And next week we'll discuss that. How's that sound?
Kim's right. The government can't keep track of balloons. Those poor balloons.
Yep. You're right, Kim.
And if the whatever little tiny visitors were inside. But I was thinking they were small weather balloon type things, but apparently,
They're pretty good sized balloons.
yeah. I did want to say something for the benefit of any of our viewers who were considering purchasing something. Oprah did not back or approve of any of the advertisements about the stupid gummies. Oprah is not behind it. They're using her name and her image illegally.
And let me point
So
something out.
what's that?
There is a store right now. What these companies do, these are all Chinese companies.
Yes.
They come in and they find some legitimate company that everybody believes in. They create a phony account on Facebook, then they buy ad space through that phony account. But when they post, it doesn't say it's coming from that phony account. They say it's coming from Neiman Marcus. That's one that's currently on Facebook. I'm sure you probably all seen it. They've opened the store claiming to be Neiman Marcus and selling things. And you know, there was one that they were claiming to be Sam's Club,
Mm-hmm.
and they were advertising a car for $29 that you could drive. I'm sorry, but if you're stupid enough
To
to
buy.
believe that somebody could build a car, ship it here from China, and sell it to you for $29, you deserve to lose your $29.
You deserve whatever version of a car you receive for 29.
That's right.
I mean,
Because
that's
I contacted, just to show you I'm the Facebook police, I
yes, it is.
contacted Neiman Marcus and told them I created screen captures and sent them to Neiman Marcus, and I talked to one of their fraud investigators, and they're looking into what's going on because they don't like that. They want some company pretending to be them out there
Exactly.
because it makes them look bad. And
But
they went onto the Neiman Marcus website. They stole all of their advertising artwork and put it on their website, which says Neiman Marcus, blah, 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 dot so and so dot CA, which is like a Canadian site, but it's
yeah,
actually, if you look it up, it's coming from China. And you'll see a lot of these places that claim that they're in the UK. Says so and so dot UK,
yeah, they're not.
but they're not in the UK. They're Chinese. But you watch these things, they put these videos, like I'm sure you've seen the one with the robots, the dancing robot,
Oh yeah, and the fish.
and they've got one with um what's a excavator. It's a
Yeah,
toy, a radio controlled uh, digger thing. And they had one with this metal tank that you could ride on. It was strong enough that you could sit on top of it and radio control it around. And they were claiming to sell these things for 30 and 40 bucks. People, look them up. When you see the video, watch the video and look for clues as to where it came from. If you can't find one, do a screen capture, get on Google image search, and you can track down who makes it. And that's what I do. That tank was made by a Korean company, and they sell them for like $5,000.
yeah.
And the robot is coming from France, and I forget the company. It's like AIL, or I don't remember, but no, it's RAO. You can look on the box because they like to do these unboxing. They steal the video from the company website, and they show an unboxing of the robot. If you look on the side of the box, you can see the initials. So I looked up the initials, and it's this company's website in France. These robots sell for $5,000, $6,000, up to $8,000. They're not selling you that for $39.
Nope. Well,
So
if
if
anybody has ever, like 10 years ago, I sourced from a company in China, and you simply cannot trust the quality coming from there. And it's not the Chinese people. The Chinese people are wonderfully hardworking, good people. It's the corporate structure that is inherently dishonest, and they have no laws in place to keep them in check, because they figure it's steal from some Americans, good thing, or Brits.
There,
Or,
there are companies selling from China that are good.
yes,
They make good product. They're trustworthy. There's a company called Anchor, Anker. They make top quality stuff. I have my webcam is from Anchor. Uh, the batteries that I carry around with me so I can charge my phone, those are made by Anchor. These headphones right here, these are made by Anchor. And one time I bought a pair of these headphones and they fell apart. The plastic all broke and crumbled, and I'd only had them maybe a couple of months. I contacted Anchor. I took pictures of it, showed them what it did. They sent me a brand new pair, told me to keep the other ones and do what I wanted to with it, and apologized.
yeah. See,
And that was because I left a unfavorable review on uh, Amazon for these. So they don't want that. And that shows that they care what their customers think. So you can trust a company like that. Like, I highly recommend, if you buy something, buy Anchor, Anker. They make good stuff. It's not super cheap, but it's good. It's worth what you pay for it. But
you can get any level of quality from the companies in China. You can specify whether you want junk, cheap junk, or good stuff. The people who are making good product are people who care about their customers. They're not just trying to make a quick buck. And but there are plenty of quick buck artists, so you have to be vigilant about the source of products you're ordering. And
I like
unfortunately, right now, it's tough.
I like the subject matter we're on right now. If we don't get back to the sci-fi, I think this is worthwhile to talk to people about. Melanie and I have done. I've sold on eBay since 1998. So
Yeah, me
I've
too.
bought and sold a ton of stuff. Melanie also. Um, I think she got on a little later than I did, but not too much later. And I stopped selling on eBay because the fees and the fact that they now tax you for income and do not allow you to take off what you paid for the item, that makes it, because I've got a lot of stuff that I'm selling for $10 that I paid 9 for.
Yeah,
I'm just getting rid of it because I'm tired of it hanging around the house. But I can't sell something like that because they're going to tax me on $10
right.
as if that was all profit. So I'm going to lose money. And plus, the shipping nowadays is outrageous. So it's just not worthwhile to sell on eBay anymore. So
It's it's why I'm sticking to small objects. I'm sticking to small dolls, small plush things, high value, high interest, and anything that ships, above first class, forget it. It just isn't worth it. And most of my sales go through Poshmark and Etsy, both of which are better than eBay, in my opinion. And if
I've
you are
never,
selling on eBay now, try Poshmark.
God help you.
Yeah, but I also don't recommend Amazon, because Amazon has their own little array of depth charges hidden. Um,
Well, as far as buying on Amazon,
oh,
I'm
yeah.
okay with buying. But even with buying on Amazon, it isn't like it used to be. Used to, you could pretty much count on that price on Amazon is the cheapest you could find something. That's not the case all the time. A lot of times it is still, but it's a good idea to double check and see what else is
Always.
fly. Sometimes Walmart will have it cheaper.
Yeah.
And here's another problem. Last week, I bought a pair of pants, and the pants were supposed to be Hager pants, which are good quality pants.
Right.
What I got was the pants company or something. It wasn't anywhere near the quality of a Hager pair of pants. But they advertised them on Amazon as being Hager. So I turned them in, but and here's another problem. Amazon lets the seller decide the return policy.
Yeah. You have
Now,
to read the return policy first.
it used to be different. I have to pay postage to return these.
Yeah. Forget it.
It isn't worthwhile doing it. Now, Amazon used to, it didn't cost you anything to return something to Amazon.
Yep.
But that's not always the case. So be careful
Well,
now.
it's a good idea to read the return policy if you're buying something above $20. And we purchased a large item once, and it was like $500, and I practically inhaled the return policy before before we bought it. And even though they didn't want to take a return of it, they did, because I called them up and roasted their chestnuts. So this you just have to stay on them. It's sad, but it's just the way things are. And what that does is open the door to regular vendors online, because, as I've said before, the biggest competition now for um, Amazon, Walmart, all of these is Shopify. And that's because there's so many little stores running Shopify. So as
Never
when
bought
they
anything on Shopify. It's pretty good.
yeah, and once these guys, it's all individual stores, and they're grouping together to take on Amazon and Walmart. And that's what is going to rescue our system of commerce, e-commerce especially. But another important thing is to buy locally. Um, I tell you, the egg prices have just gone insane. And fortunately, we're at a position in our lives where we really don't need to worry, if we're paying 6 or we're paying 8. But our local farms have have all opened little stores on their property, and they also participate in farmers markets. You can get eggs, a dozen fresh eggs, for $5 here, $4 even. And chickens the same way. But the if I were you, I would definitely check into your local farmers markets and that sort of thing. You're going to find a lot better prices.
You were talking about buying from China. Uh, the biggest exporter in China is a company called Alibaba.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you want something as cheap as, like if you're looking for a cigarette lighter, and you want to buy a cigarette lighter for 39 cents,
You can find it.
you can find one on Alibaba. But what you have to remember about Alibaba is not based in America. It's based in China.
China.
And it's under Chinese rules and regulations. And
Sure.
if you buy a cigarette lighter for 39 cents and they send you a match, there's really not a damn thing you can do about it.
Yeah, and
There's
the quality of all items on Alibaba and AliExpress, which is their you know,
yeah, that's
retail
the
front.
same company.
Yeah, the same company, and all of these like Wish and Timu and any of these are all Chinese companies.
Right.
And if
And
you're buying it cheap, you're not going to get what you think you are.
and these Chinese companies come over here. They do what I was talking about earlier. They create the shady ones. Like I say, there are honest Chinese companies. Don't get me wrong, they're not all like that.
Yeah.
But there are shady Chinese companies that come over, don't even come over here. They do it over the internet. They register a phony profile on Facebook, and then you will see spread through Facebook 50 or 60 ads. They're the identical ad, but with a different company name.
Yep.
And they usually try to find a name that's similar to one. Like there was a company called Owl's Matrix that used to sell on Facebook, and they sell shirts. And I bought quite a few shirts from them, and they're nice. They're based in China. They take forever to get here, but they're good quality. The sizes are just about right, and you do eventually get it. Well, this company came along and made the name Who Daddy and put a picture of an owl like Owl's Matrix had and started selling shirts. And the images they put on their ad were ones they stole from Owl's Matrix. So you're never really going to see that shirt.
Yeah. You're not. And you're not going to get your money back either.
That's right. And that's the way all of those phony ads are. If you get anything, it is not going to be what you expect to get. If they sell you a car, you're going to get a car
Yeah.
made out of
Car.
plastic that's worth a tenth of what you paid $29 for it, and it's like a $2 plastic toy car. So don't buy from these phony Facebook ads. If it offers you something for some incredibly cheap price, even if it's a really cool looking video, do some research into the video, because you can almost always find something on that video to point out who really makes that thing and what it really costs. Because if it's some radio controlled thing that looks like a real item that moves around and digs up dirt, you're not going to buy that for $29. It just isn't going to happen. It's going to cost you hundreds of dollars. And if you really want that, we'll research what it really costs and decide if you want to spend that kind of money. But
Yeah.
don't
It's,
think you're going to get it for $29, because you're not.
there's the old thing of the ice cream freezer, similar to the one our grandparents had. They would, it took a long process, and they would hand crank, then they got the electric one that they plugged in. Well, that same ice cream freezer that lasted forever and always worked would now cost about $300. And they have one that's available for $79, but it burns out after about a year. And guess where it's made?
Well, you can watch them on Star Wars. You know
Yep.
about that story, don't you?
Yep.
That they used one of those in a scene where the guy's carrying it around,
Yep.
and, and they and then they made an action figure of that character with the ice cream freezer under his arm. And now at the conventions, there's always somebody dressed in that costume with an ice cream freezer.
Yep. Yep. So, well, yeah, God bless. Maybe that's why I sold that ice cream freezer as quickly as I did, because I had one that I couldn't test, so
If
I
it was
just sold
that,
it.
if it was that model, I guarantee you that's why it got swallowed up.
Probably.
Look it up when we go off the air. Star Wars ice cream freezer, and you'll see a picture of the guy in the orange jumpsuit.
I will do that right now.
It's something I had never heard about it, and I was watching one of the on Disney Plus, one of the making of Star Wars things, and they talked about that. So,
Okay.
but I thought it was important just to apologize for us not going into sci-fi, which we always talk sci-fi. It's not like you have a shortage of science fiction information from this show. But I thought it was important to make sure people are aware of what's going on Facebook. You know,
Yeah.
and
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 face. Good.
I have to blame Facebook for a lot of this. People hold Facebook blameless and say, oh, well, they don't know. I have reported every single time I see one of these fraud postings, I report it to Facebook, and they always come back to me and say, well, we don't see anything wrong with it. But because they don't really look at it,
Yeah. Exactly.
they don't
Well,
have a human look at it.
the thing to remember about Facebook is they've been caught doing data mining for people we don't want to have data on us, and they're just not good people. It's the Dr. John Schindler, who's one of the fellows I read. He calls them FS book, meaning FSB, which is the new KGB. Um, and China is also in the mix. So none of these people mean well for us. Our entire political structure has been eaten up by uh, organized crime. And there's going to be a whole lot of people from both parties who are going to jail.
Not,
And
not as
it,
long as the Democratic Party is in charge of the FBI.
the Democratic Party isn't going to be in charge of much, nor the Republican Party, because the law is taking over. And
I
well,
never
we'll
thought I'd
see.
see the day that I hoped we'd have a military coup.
Yeah, it won't be a military coup, it'll be the law. And the guys over in the intelligence circles, they seem very solid about this. So
I
we're
hope
going to
they're
see a
right.
whole lot of people going to jail from both parties. So,
What?
however, it's going to break our hearts in some respects, but it's going to give us our country back. And
There's some bad things going on. I mean, it's just bad. And I'll
well,
tell you, the days of us having shows where we can come out here and freely say what we're saying right now are, you can count them on one hand.
that
They're going to take this away from us if we don't do something soon.
No, the people who can do something are doing it. You're going to see in the next few weeks. I mean, if
I
I'm
hope
full,
so.
if the people I listen to are full of crap, then we'll know. But they've been right up until now, and they've talked about both sides. They've spilled a lot of stuff about Joe Biden and his links to organized crime and all kinds of stuff. So you'll see. We'll
I
get.
neither party is doing us any favors.
Nope. They're all
Because
in it for themselves.
if the Republicans were the heroes that I would like them to be, they'd be out there screaming about what's going on.
And
And
if the Democrats were the heroes I'd like them to be, they'd be not doing it.
so this is just not good.
No.
These
None of
people are
these people.
supposed to look out for you and me. Take a look at
Exactly.
all you got to do is take a look at your utility bills.
Yeah.
See what's going on. Those are supposed to be public utilities.
Yes.
They're supposed to get an okay from us before they raise our bills. And yet they're doubling your gas bill.
Yep.
My electric bill has doubled and tripled over the last 5 years.
Yep.
And my water bill. 4 years ago, my water bill was like $25. It's now almost $300.
Yeah.
And they're still saying there's a drought. And it's been raining here in Southern California constantly for the last 3 or 4 months. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there is no drought in Southern California right now.
Not now, no.
So it's time to relax the water restrictions and relax the bills. All the reservoirs are full. You know, if the drought starts again, okay. But come on.
I have somebody asking, what about Trump? I've already stated I hate Trump, so
I think Trump did a good job. I don't think he was the best person I ever heard of in my life. But I think in terms of the way the government was going while he was president, I think he allowed the right people to make the right decisions. The president really doesn't do anything. He just puts the people in those positions and lets them do their job. And I think he was basically doing that. But all the stuff with George Soros and these DAs that he has brought into place, and that's why Walmart, pulled out of Oregon. They've pulled out of Oregon because the DA in Oregon will not prosecute anybody for shoplifting. So they're stealing Walmart blind. So Walmart said, fine, we're done. And you think Walmart won't pull out of your hometown? You let your DA do what they're doing up in Oregon, you won't have a Walmart there anymore. And these laws are putting Target out of business. Target's on the verge of going out of business.
We have definite bad elements on both sides of the political spectrum.
I agree.
That are going after us, and we have to battle them all. Anyway, we are at the top of the hour. I promise you we'll be back to other topics soon. But Mark and I think it's important to talk about this stuff. We're both on totally different. I'm a Democrat. Mark's a Republican, but we're both good people.
I was a Democrat.
Yes, he was a Democrat.
I voted for Obama, but then Obama didn't do the things he promised to do.
So suffice to say, Mark and I have very similar ideas about the world in many respects.
We both love our country.
Yes.
And we want it to stay free. And we want everybody to be treated equally.
Exactly. Everybody.
That's the way it should be.
Anyway, you guys have a great week. We love you. We're always happy to see you here. And
if you have any idea for topics for us to talk about, send them to us.
Yeah, and if you want to come on,
we're open to ideas. Yeah, you want to come on the show? Come on, we'll make you a star.
Hell yeah.
We love you too, Kim.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.